Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. I thought we'd start off with if somebody wants to share some feedback or ask some questions. We'll get to a practice right after that, but let's go ahead and unmute yourself or type in. I want to give you guys an opportunity. So go ahead. You want to share your experience?
Well, if anyone reads the newsletter, no. So, I mean, one of my main experiences was I don't think I realized how tired I was
Mm,
until I took the
yeah,
class.
yeah.
Like, I always have plenty of energy, but as we went through that process, I was just blown away by, I'm telling you, 70% more energy. And then, even on that, just kind of getting the correlation between the endocrine system and the will centers, it really blew my mind.
Mm,
It was, I mean, I still don't quite grasp it, I don't think, but even to just touch on that, it, yeah, it was just, yeah, incredible, really. So,
yeah.
and I mean, I always liked patchouli, but I kind of re fell in love with patchouli.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, someone said, oh, okay. How do we use the roller balls that came with this kit? Because we gave them a myrrh roller ball and
Oh,
a,
so like what you can do is instead of, it's just like you can roll it on the skin and then inhale. Or like if you want to do like you're doing your inhalations, you can also roll it on the wrist for it to get into the bloodstream. And the other place I like to do it is on the temples, like so you just do a little rub there. But it's a good easy way to smell and then to apply it to the areas that you want. When you're treating endocrine stuff, you don't want to put it on just anywhere. You want to hit areas where there is very little like tissue, like like fatty tissue, whatever you want to call it. And like the wrist area, it goes into the blood kind of quickly. And here, also the tops of your feet. And so you can just hit those spots and utilize it like that. Yeah.
what causes the going to sleep phenomenon?
Oh, when you're doing the process, I think, is that what you're talking about? Or
That's what I would guess they might responded
yeah,
to.
I think you're talking about like when we're going through and doing the process. So some of it depends on the pace. The pace over this last weekend, we went very slow, we were very methodical, and we had spaces or gaps between, like sometimes even steps in the protocol itself. And whenever you do that, it generates a lot more like energy in the body. And so you're basically trying to make a shift. And the reason why I went a little bit slower with the endocrine system is it's a harder system to shift. The nervous system, you can kind of regenerate a little bit and it will change directions kind of quickly. It communicates quickly, it takes in information quickly and reacts quickly. Endocrine system takes a little while. And so by being a little bit more slow and methodical, it starts to shift you. And anytime the body shifts, you're basically going into rest and repair. And so rest and repair is more like you're getting sleepy, you're getting drowsy, you conk out, you drop the bottles, maybe a few times. You missed a section of the class because you like conked out, or you know, you went to sleep when we were using frankincense and you woke up when we were doing something else, or any of that is you're going into a deeper state of healing. And so, yeah, if you experience that, go for you.
And they're following up. Is it so? Is the sleepiness an energy overload phenomenon?
No, it's you're going into rest and repair. Rest and repair is deeper levels of relaxation. When you're in more active mode, your body's not really healing. So like when you're shifting more into like a deeper state of healing, your body's activities shut down so that there can be repairing, shifting, transitioning. And so it's not overload. It's just you're going from activity to sleep. You're just not used to doing it during the daytime, because your body's awake. And so you might feel very active, but if you're able to do the shift proper, like you that's what happens. You start getting relaxed, you start getting sleepy. The body is repairing itself. If there's a lot of activity going on, there's no energy to do it. It's like these switches get flipped for you to be active, and then they get unflipped for you to repair. And so what happens is sometimes those switches just never get flipped. You're just in activity and you don't really repair very much. So we manually kind of went through and like clicked some of those switches so that you could go into deeper states of relaxation. Yeah. Yeah. Anybody else?
Maybe good to understand that, they said. Thank
Oh,
you.
good.
Maybe more questions after we do a practice.
Okay.
I don't know.
We'll see. Well, I say we do a little bit more of that will work. Okay, so let's have you pull out your myrrh, the segment 2. And start taking long, slow, deep breaths with your awareness on the bottom of your tailbone. Long, slow, deep breath. And then be still. Again on the bottom of the tailbone, the basic chakra. Nice, long, slow, deep breaths. And then just be still. Begin on the front solar plexus. Nice, long, slow, deep breaths. And then just be still. Your awareness is on the back shoulder. You're taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths. And then just be still. Just be still. Your awareness is between the eyebrows, the ajna. And then just pause and be still. And then the top of your head, the crown. And then just be still. Just be still. That's that. Yeah, feels good. Yeah. Let's pull out your patchouli or dark patchouli, whatever you used in the class. Begin inhaling. Your awareness is on the bottom of the tailbone, the basic chakra. And then pause and be still. Just pause and be still. Begin inhaling. Your awareness is on the bottom of the tailbone. Just be still. Begin inhaling. Your awareness is on the front solar plexus. Nice, long, slow, deep breaths with your awareness on the front solar. Pause and be still. Your back solar plexus. And then be still. Your awareness is between the eyebrows on the ajna. And then be still. And then inhale with your awareness on the crown. Just be still. Let's break out that frankincense. Begin inhaling. Your awareness is on the bottom of your tailbone, the basic. And then just pause and be still. And again, long, slow, deep breaths with your awareness on the bottom of your tailbone. And then just be still. Again, on your basic, bottom of your tailbone, long, slow, deep breaths. Just be still. Your front solar plexus, nice, long, slow, deep breaths. And just be still. Your back solar plexus, the mid back area, and then just be still. The area between your eyebrows, Rajna. Just pause. Pause and let go. And then your awareness is on the crown. And just be still. Notice how you feel, your body, your mind, your emotions. I mean, we did a big jump start on the weekend, and now we're doing like a little tune up now. Very good for your glands. You know, it's not something that has to always be treated daily. Like you can do some like intense work, shift them around a bit, and even take a little bit of a break, but like tune them up from time to time. Once a week, once every other week. If you feel that the glands are really having an issue, like for me, I use three wise men or frankincense and myrrh like daily. I just use it daily. I use that and lemon verbena. And so when I stop taking it, like I don't notice it for like a day or two, but like if I forget for like a week, I can tell. Like I just don't have my same like get up and go and drive, and my head gets a little fuzzy, things like that. So, but anyway, anybody want to share experiences or ask a question? You can unmute yourself or type in.
Go ahead, Denise.
Hey, Denise.
Hi, Greg. Um, that was really nice. I did practice a little bit.
Mhm.
I just wondered, could you explain the will again, a little bit more to help me ground that? And I know the glands and then the will, and if you would.
Like which part of just like oh, like how I talked about it on the weekend?
Yes.
Oh, gotcha. So you have four aspects of your will. And so think of the will as like your ability to take action, um, or sometimes to restrict. I mean, it depends. But so you have four different aspects. One is associated with the basic chakra. This is the will to survive, right? The will to survive. So this can be like defensive actions, your body just always trying to preserve itself or take care of itself. Like a little kid, it would be like their ability to thrive, at a young age. That's tied to the basic will aspect. And so this can actually, when it's out of sync or agitated, this can turn into like things like aggression and violence and um, just weird defensive actions and behaviors. But it's basically like your body's like drive to take care of itself and live and thrive and all that. Then you have the emotional will, which is the front solar plexus. And that is basically your will to commit. Like you're committing to something good or bad, or I'm not going to make a decision. That's still a commitment. It's your ability to compare and choose and then, make a choice and commit to something. And so this is also kind of that idea of I want what I want and I'm not backing down. Like when you feel like you're standing your ground, that's the emotional will. Now, standing your ground could be a good thing. It could be a bad thing. It depends on what's going on. But that tendency is in the solar plexus. And think of the solar plexus as the solar plexus sees everything black and white. There's no gray areas, there's no nuances, there's no strategy. It's like I want what I want or I'm not doing this. And you could say that like when things are happening and we're coming from the place of will in the solar plexus,
Uh-huh.
it feels like it's a right here, right now. Like if whatever I do right here, it's like going to be that way forever. Like so I have to stand my ground.
Mm.
Where when we start to get into the mental will, which is up between the eyebrows, it's more strategic, it's more nuanced, it's more big picture, like it sees like the depth of what's happening. And so we go from the solar plexus being I want what I want and I'm not backing down to the will of the mind is I need to do the right thing. I might want to do this, but is that really the right action? So this
Oh,
starts to be more processing the information or the situation and forming strategies, and putting things in place, and thinking about the outcomes, and uh, trying to do the right thing. But if the if the heart's not developed and that part of the will becomes highly activated, that person becomes very, very ruthless. Like ruthless people, mental
yeah.
will is developed, they just don't have a heart. If they
Interesting.
had a heart, they'd have the will to do the right thing. But without the heart, they have the will and the strategic thinking to do things, but it's usually quite cruel in nature, you know. And so the crown is the spiritual will, and the spiritual will is at first you could say it's like serving others or serving and connecting to things that are bigger than you, that are outside of yourself. But eventually, through that action and through that refinement, you begin to serve the the soul. You begin to serve the higher soul, and you kind of start to play out the soul plan, and take direction a little bit more for the soul, which sometimes doesn't make sense to the logical mind, but you have this deep drive of like, I got to do, I got to do these things. It's important. Sometimes you might not even know why, because it's almost like outside of yourself.
Mm.
So this is the tendency in this particular area where you really kind of begin to spiritually grow and evolve, and break patterns in your life, and allow for like space to come in for like a deeper connection to the soul or to the divine, or something that's more than just the personal things around you. And so you usually can tell when this part is activated, because the person is a little bit like service oriented. They'll try to help people even if they don't know them, or they do things that are very big, like big picture. um uh I there was this one explanation one time from a teacher, and this student talked about one time how he was, um I mean, this sounds silly, but it still kind of shows the will.
Okay.
And this person was getting ready to move out of an apartment. And I'm going to try to get the story straight. They told me this a long time ago. And so they are packing up all their things. They got their things out, and now it comes time to clean the place up to get your security deposit back, right? And um, the person said they'd only been there a year, and the place wasn't really that dirty or whatever, but still they vacuumed up and they wiped all the things down. But they were like, I know this is the way that it was, but they wiped down all the walls, and they never used the oven, they said, but they went through and they like cleaned the oven, and they just they just did all the things that you would do. They cleaned the bathroom up really well. And they said that when the person that was in charge came through to do the walkthrough, they said, did you have this professionally cleaned? And the person
Oh,
goes, no. And he said, you could have just like walked out of here, and you probably would have gotten your security deposit back, or a majority of it. They were like, yeah, but I wanted to leave it nicer than I left it. And the person said, well, that's not very very common, or that's odd or strange. And the person who was evaluating the thing was just a normal average guy, but he kept saying that's a very Christian thing to do. That's a very, he kept saying Christian thing, that like you did this like a very good Christian or whatever. And he goes, what church do you belong to? And the guy's like, I don't belong to any church. I just, it was the right thing to do. And so, like, even like something like that, as weird as it sounds, like that idea of like, I'm going to leave this better than I left, then I'm going
Yeah.
to, you know, that idea, that's spiritual will right there. Like, it's like he could have just walked out and would have been done, but it's almost like building a muscle. He's like, no, I'm going to, it wasn't even that it was like the right thing, but he just wanted whoever owned the place or the next person, I can't remember what he said is why he did it, but he was just like, I just wanted it to be in good condition when I left it for the next person. And even that is an aspect of spiritual will.
Thank you. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. And
Yeah.
how about myrtle? Where does myrtle, how?
So when we did the myrtle at the very end, it kind of
Yeah.
goes through and calms and soothes the body and the aspects that would trigger like dysfunction in the endocrine system in the glands. So it's a way to kind of maintain the shift and not cause the glands to go to a crazy place.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And this process sort of is a refining process. It
Yes.
feels like.
The more
Yes.
you do it, the better. Like I say, like um I would say about like, I don't know, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, um, life was going through a bunch of changes, and I'd been working really hard, and I was just exhausted. I mean, I was just, I was able to keep doing the things that I was doing, but I was pretty tired, and I tried a bunch of things, and I just wasn't snapping back. And when I started treating the glands, I snapped back like within 2 weeks. I mean, I'd
Oh,
been struggling with it for like 6, 7 months. It just, I was like, ugh, just, I wasn't feeling bad. I just was feeling bleh, just, ugh. And, it was affecting my mood. It was affecting my thought processes. It was affecting my digestion. It was just affecting everything. I started working the glands, and man, it was like doing a 180 in a very short amount of time.
well, I'm thankful that you did
Yeah, yeah,
because this
thank you.
definitely has benefited us.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I listened, when I asked you about the orange healer, and then when somebody else was asking you about the Shazandra,
Uh-huh.
I had some of that. So I used both of those before I slept last night. And you're right, I did go into a much more restful.
Yeah,
I
Shazam
mean,
is amazing. Shazam,
oh my
and
God.
it's not that expensive. Like that's the thing, is it's potent. It makes your body feel so much better. It makes it stronger. You get so much better sleep. It's truly amazing.
And I can take it internally as well as
Oh yeah,
topically.
I would
And it,
totally. I'd take probably 3 drops, like in water or like on the tongue, and then wash it down. That's usually the way I do it. But
excellent. Thank you so much.
you're so welcome.
You mentioned you use those oils daily. How do you use them daily?
I take them both internal. You know, every once in a while I'll take like a salt bath and 3 wise men or something, but for the most part I just do internal. It's quick, it's easy, it's potent, and you just keep moving.
Can this protocol help with Hashimoto since it is the thyroid gland?
It's good for jumpstarting the whole endocrine system and regulating the whole endocrine system. With Hashimoto's, you also have a little bit of an autoimmune issue, and so I would probably augment. Like, you could do all these things, but then I would augment with clove. Like do all the things that we're doing here, but then either inhale clove or take a few drops internally on a daily basis.
Can Greg elaborate on what lemon verbena does? He mentioned he takes it all the time.
So the frankincense, the myrrh, and the patchouli all like jumpstart. They're like stimulants to the endocrine system. The lemon verbena doesn't necessarily jumpstart, but it's very like it's very good maintenance. It maintains like proper function and is fortifying, like so it's strengthening. But if things are not working properly, it doesn't always correct that. So it's a good like combination, like with frankincense or myrrh or your patchouli or something. So yeah. So okay, you guys. Well, thanks for joining us tonight, and I hope you enjoyed the. We kind of did a little quicker version for this, so when you get the recording, it's a way to go through and do it in about I think 35-40 minutes. And it's not the beginning segment or the last segment, but that part with the will, it's good for that. So I think I see a bunch of you guys on this weekend for the body wisdom class. So super excited about that and excited to take that to the next level. So take care, you guys. Love you.
Thank you. Good night.